Thanks for watching. We're in Leelanau County, just outside of Omena. We're at the Michigan Hop Alliance, and with us, founder, owner, Brian Tennis of the Michigan Hop Alliance. Brian, thanks for taking time.
You're very welcome.
All right, let's get into it. We're getting very close as we stand here today to harvest.
Yep.
But before we talk about harvest and hops in general, let's talk about the Alliance. What is the Michigan Hop Alliance?
We're like a loosely formed group of area farmers who came together to process and market our hops collectively.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
All right. So how are we doing since you started this a few years ago? How are you guys doing, and how are hops doing in northern Michigan?
It's pretty remarkable. Michigan is now top 10 in the world for hop production, as well as top 4 in the United States. So we went from 0 acres 10 years ago to 1,000. So it's no pun intended, but it's a really growing industry.
I guess it would be a jump ball to answer the question, what went through a bigger explosion, the craft beer industry or the hop industry in Michigan? Because both really exploded.
I think they both probably went along the same timeline. If it wasn't for the growth in Michigan breweries, we wouldn't be where we're at. So
right.
we kind of grew up together.
And as we stand here just outside of Omena, we're talking about 30 acres basically here. And in the Alliance, a little less than 100.
Yeah, we're still relatively small in the grand scheme of things. We still have less than 100 acres.
Yeah. You may be small, but you've got big cones.
This is what I hear.
All right, let's talk about harvest. How does that all take place? What do you do when harvest starts, and take me all the way through the process?
So what we'll do, we'll go through the base of these plants and cut them. So they're just hanging here basically in a row, and we'll come through with what we call a top cutter. The top cutter will drive down the hop yard row, cut the tops of it, and the entire plant will fall into a harvest wagon. We'll take that harvest wagon to our hop picker, run it through the machine, and then from there we'll either run it to the brewery and do a fresh or wet harvest ale, or we'll dry them and pelletize them.
Yeah, I've been in that process shooting video where I'm in the hop wagon, and it's crazy. I mean, that's a crazy situation.
It's not a fun job, and you've got to wear long sleeves. You'll really get ripped up by these plants if you're not careful.
And talking about wet hop season, this is the time of year when we start making harvest beers and things of that nature, but the wet hop is what is really crucial, because you take it directly, correct me if I'm wrong, from a place like this and get it straight to the brewer.
Yep. Usually we deal with maybe a half a dozen guys around here, Shorts, Filling Station, Rare Bird, you name it. We'll cut them down, run them to the picker, and run them immediately to the brewery. Yep. So they're brewing within just a couple hours.
And I learned a little something about hops today, if I can just do that. You were saying that you're probably, from where we stand right now, about a week or so away, and you can tell because if you squeeze the hop, it kind of bounces back into its original form. And you were saying it's ready when what happens?
If you squeeze it and it bounces back, you're probably still maybe a week or a couple days away. But you also, when you crack them open, you've got to look for that school bus yellow color. And the aroma hits you. Right now, it's still, if you smell that, it's still a little green.
Right. Yeah.
And just in a matter of a few days, if not a week, that'll be really, really pungent. It'll smell like orange. We're in the middle of a cascade yard, so it'll smell more like a grapefruit. So it really, bursts with aroma in another week or so.
Yeah, if you've never smelled a hop, and maybe some of you haven't, it's amazing how much it smells like beer.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
It's a great plant to grow.
Here at the Alliance where we are, how many varieties are we talking about?
We've got maybe 8 or 10.
Yeah.
Roughly, depending on it. Some come, some lose favor with the brewery, so they get replaced.
Right. We're talking to Brian Tennis, Michigan Hop Alliance. Where do you see the Alliance being in 5 or 10 years?
Much more vertically integrated. We just bought Arbor Brewing in Ypsilanti and in Ann Arbor proper. So we're looking more like a vertical integration. Everything that we're growing here will eventually end up in our own product, hopefully.
Michigan Hop Alliance getting ready for harvest of hops. It's all happening.
Nice.
Brian, thank you very much. Just outside of Omena, I'm Vic McCarty, My News 26.